Hey guys, it's Nadia from LiaDiaDesigns Designs and I'm back with another tutorial. Today we're making my Ultra Glam stained glass Monstera 2-tier stand. I posted this on Instagram recently and I had a lot of people asking for a tutorial, so here we go. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to be pouring our clear resin into our molds, and we're only filling them about a third of the way full. So I have a 5-inch mold and a 7-inch mold, and I'm filling them about a third of the way. And of course, I'm going to use my heat gun to get the bubbles out, and then we're going to leave that to cure overnight so that they will be a nice hard surface for us to paint on. So while our resin is curing, I'm going to go ahead and create the design for our 2 tiers. On the left, you can see I've already created the bottom layer, and now I'm sketching out the top layer. So this one's going to have one main Monstera leaf and then a kind of a peekaboo piece on the top left there. So I'm going to go in and create the design, and then I'm also going to kind of darken those outlines once I'm ready so that I can see through them in my molds. And as you can see, I have 2 circles around this leaf here. The outer circle I actually traced my mold from, and then the inner circle I just kind of approximated the depth, the I guess width of the mold, so this way I know what the inner size of the mold is, and then that gives me the approximate size that I'm going to need, so I know that everything's going to fit proportionally inside the mold. So I'm just going to fix this up here, and then I will also add in the background lines for the stained glass effect. And obviously, if you don't feel like you have enough artistic talent to do the sketching, if you find designs maybe online or through some stock sites or things like that, and you want to use those as your template, you can use the same idea here. I just obviously like to create my own unique designs, so I'm going to be sketching mine out. But there's definitely a lot of other options if you feel that you're not quite as artistic for this part of the process. So I'm going to finish up this, and then we will be ready to paint once our resin is cured. Okay, so we're all set to start painting, and I am using my Pebeo Serenity Relief, and this I believe is the pewter. So they have a pewter, and they believe they have one called Imitation Lead. So it's the same idea. So this really gives you that true stained glass effect where it has the darker lead lines instead of the lighter ones or the gold ones that I sometimes do. So I wanted to have that effect on this piece. And as you can see, you can also just wipe away any excess or little mistakes that you have with the paintbrush, because it does stay wet for quite a while as you're painting. So if you feel that you need to go in and actually clean it, clean a section or redo a section, you can just literally wipe it off the resin and then start again. So it's a great forgiver for that purpose. Like, you don't feel like you have to get it right the first time. If you need a couple tries, you can definitely wipe it off and start again. So we'll get this all set up. I finished up the top layer here, and then I'm going to do the same thing with the bottom, and then we'll just go in and trace the design out. So I also wanted to mention that I know I use these Pebeo outliners. I am looking at some other options as well, including just acrylic paint, which I have done in the past. You guys can look at some former videos for that. But there's also some other products that I'm looking at that might be a little bit more easily accessible. So I am testing those right now, and I'll let you guys know as soon as I have that figured out which other products I would recommend. So once we're done here, we will let it dry for a couple hours, and then we'll be ready to add our glitter. Okay, so as you can see, we've already started to add our glitter here. And what I've done is the same thing that I've done in many of my previous videos, where I've mixed the glitter with my DuraClear gloss varnish And I've just made somewhat of a medium paste with the glitter and the varnish. So it's almost like a half and half mixture, I believe. Like you don't want it to be runny and you don't want it to be too thick, because you do want the glitter to kind of settle and lay flat, but you don't want it to have any kind of gaps or spaces where the varnish is kind of flooding. So we just fill that in with this glitter, and I'm using two different chunky glitters today. This beautiful green blue reflective glitter, as well as iridescent white glitter, and both of them are from Paradise Glitter. And again, as usual, if you want to find out all the products that I'm using, there's a screen at the end of this video, as well as links below the video in the description. So if you want to see what I'm using, definitely check out either of those places. There's also boxes on the side that kind of pop up, but if you miss those, you can also check those other places. So we went in and we're adding in our glitter, the white one, iridescent, same process here. And then we'll be ready to start adding in the mica powder areas. So once we finish with our glitter, we're ready to go in and add some areas where it's kind of more of a tinted glass look. So again, using gloss varnish, I mixed in just a little bit of some mica powder in two different colors. We have this kind of a chameleon color that is white, but it also reflects blues and greens. And then I'm also just using a white that's been again tinted. Now we don't want these to be super opaque, because we want to be able to see through it once it's fully dried. So we will finish those up, leave them to dry for a few hours, and then we'll be back. So it's been about 6 to 8 hours, and all of our gloss varnish areas are dry, so we're ready to add our top coat. So once again, I'm using my Artist Thin Viscosity Resin by Counterculture, and I love this resin because, especially for top coating, because I don't have to worry about bubbles. I find that out of all the ones that I've tried in terms of the medium and the regular Artist, this one is thinner, so it just allows for just the release of the bubbles is much easier, and I don't have to worry too much about it. So that's why I really like this one. So we're just going to go ahead and use our heat gun to get rid of any of the bubbles that are in there, and then we'll let that dry overnight so that in the morning we can do a second top coat. Okay, so it's the next day and I'm unmolding these. So as you can see, the colors and the sparkle just look amazing on this piece. And yeah, so there we go. And you can also see the see-through areas where that mica and even some of the glitter was placed, that it's a bit see-through, and that's what we were going for, because we do want to have a stained glass look for this piece. So we'll do the same thing on this large one, which will be very similar. And I will be adding a second top coat to these just because I do want to have that extra layer and a little bit of extra shine. If you don't know how to do a dome or a top coat, I will link it above here and also at the end of the video. Well, I've done it numerous times, but you can definitely check out one of the videos that I've linked to see how that process is done. And here we go. Here's the final piece. If you would like to know how to assemble this, I will link another video at the top here and as well at the end, which shows the process of how to assemble these. I've done it a few times in some of my other videos. So again, but just look at the shine of this piece. It's just so amazing how the resin with the glitter and the mica and there's just so much here that's happening, and I just love it so much. I hope you guys loved it too, and if you did, don't forget to leave a comment, and also don't forget to subscribe and share. Thanks so much guys, take care, bye.